NoDQ Galaxy. We are live with NoDQ.com predictions for this weekend's AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view event. Yes, a pay-per-view event, not a premium live event. This is pay-per-view, baby. And we have a lot to discuss. We have, I think, 11 matches, Noah. Is that correct?
That is correct.
11 matches, which includes the buy-in match. What do you know? AEW actually has a full card for us now. We still have one more Dynamite, and sometimes things can happen. We still don't know the complete Owen Hart final matches, but we should have a pretty good idea of where things are going with that. And if need be, we'll change our predictions later on social media.
Aaron, I'm hearing that they're talking about a Sting and Darby Allin versus Red Dragon type of match, which I'll discuss that during the Hardys versus the Bucks. But I really hope Toni doesn't overbloat this card like he's been doing with Dynamite for the last few weeks.
Too late.
It's already there. It's going to be a long show, guys, but we're going to try to give our predictions as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So I'm going to just real quick, you don't have to go into too much detail. Just let me know overall your excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10. Jargo, welcome back. You're now settled in Indianapolis, Indiana. How's it going? And how are you feeling about Double or Nothing?
Well, I mean, I'm excited, man, because I'm sitting here. I'm with the NoDQ Galaxy. I got all my boys back in here. So things are going pretty well here in the Circle City. But I got to be honest, man. I'm looking at this card, and I'm pretty underwhelmed. Like, I realize everything is storyline, and everything fits. But as I look at this card, it's just kind of like, man, do we really need 11 matches on a paper? Do we really need another 4.5 hour pay-per-view? Like, can all these companies just like look back at NXT and look at TakeOver and realize 5 matches, 2.5 hours, make it good, make it quick, leave people wanting more, not just exhausted by the time the main event rolls around. And as I look at this card, by the time Hangman and Punk get out there, everybody's going to be asleep.
Good point there, Jargo. Now, I'm not sure if this is an accurate comparison, but imagine you go to a buffet, it's $50, you end up stuffing yourself because you want to justify the price tag. And it can be a bit much, but you pay $50 for a nice restaurant and you get a great meal and you're not overly stuffed, you know. You're still getting that value for your $50. So, I mean, AEW is a buffet. They really do have something for everybody, but maybe it would be better if it was a 3-hour show with.
And it leaves you feeling sick at the end of the night because you ate too much, right? Like, these shows are just completely out of control when you start getting into 4.5, 5 hours. It's just too much.
I'm with you on that, man. All right. Caleb Jacobs sent in a $2.74 super chat. Shout out to the one and only Caleb Jacobs. He says, I am going to keep it simple and not spam with the winky emoji. Appreciate that, Caleb. 10 out of 10. And you may be considered as a moderator. Just don't spam. I would appreciate that. All right. Mikey T is back with us. He had a little bit of drama behind the scenes with Virtue, but he is here tonight. Mikey T in the flesh. How's it going, man? How you feeling about this show?
Well, first off, let me give a shout out to Virtue, man. You know, I always got a lot of respect for what he does on the NoDQ review. You know, it just got a little hot, but hopefully we could repair those issues, get me back on the review. Jargo, what was your rating? I didn't hear the number that you threw out there.
I mean, I guess I'll give it like a 6.
6. Okay. I was leaning towards an 8 just because we got these matches like Samoa Joe, Adam Cole. We got the big CM Punk match we've been waiting for, but I really can't get that much higher on it because of some of these other matches that they're putting on us, like the Hardys and the Bucks, that Swerve and Keith Lee getting paired together out of the blue. Some of these things I just can't get too invested in, but I'm hot on this Punk and Hangman match for sure. So an 8.
All right. Well, Noah Foster, you're looking dressed for the occasion as always. Your thoughts on this show?
Hello, everybody. It's Double or Nothing week. And you know what that means. Good to see you all. Good to see you, NoDQ Galaxy. I'm doing very well, and I'm looking very forward to this show. I'm more so a 9 out of 10 because, again, all these matches, they have good storylines behind them. Several of them feel like they can go an alternative way, and it's all wrestling matches this year versus a Casino Battle Royale filler versus last year. And when I think about what Revolution did, for example, with what I thought was pretty near perfect, despite the fact we saw what the aftermath was the AEW Women's World Championship, I think they'll be just fine come to CM Punk and him and Adam Page, because this is not a show where you burn people out. You go to these shows expecting to be in for the long haul, because that's professional wrestling at a pay-per-view at its quality. And it is a buffet for a little bit of everything for everybody. So I'm looking very forward to this, and it's great to be here with y'all.
Thank you for that, Noah. And he is, of course, happy to be here. He's looking really clean there.
Looking fresh.
How's it going, Big G? 1 to 10.
Doing pretty good. 11 matches. You know, we're known for AEW to do this every time they have a pay-per-view. We're in it for the long haul as usual. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10 as well. So,
all right, and I think I will go with a 9 because I do agree that the pay-per-views tend to be too long, and I really would like to be done and having the stream go live and be in bed by midnight, but it's just not the case with AEW. However, it's only quarterly, although we have that Forbidden Door pay-per-view coming up. So
next month,
that's 5. I think I'm going to go with a 9 because I know in the end it's going to really deliver, and pretty much every AEW pay-per-view, in my opinion, has been top tier, like A minus, somewhere in that category. And
very much.
Maybe one day if they cut the show a little bit and get rid of a few matches, maybe it could be an A+. But we'll see. Maybe this will be the one. Maybe they will hit every right note. Every match will serve its purpose. Let's go ahead and break down the card. Chat room, feel free to leave your predictions in there, and I will put some of your comments up on the screen as we go through match by match. First match we'll talk about is the buy-in match. AEW announced 11 matches. That is appreciated, so we know what we're talking about here. We got Hook and Danhausen, of course, going up against Toni Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. Noah Foster, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on this Hookhausen team, and to me, this is a pretty clear win for them, but what do you think?
Well, regardless, it should be very nice, very entertaining. And to think, if they did a 24/7 thing on the pre-show, WrestleMania pre-show probably would have mattered. But I digress. That being said, it's a strange bedfellows thing. This is going to be pretty fun, but pretty much the result is literally as you see it. Hookhausen, tag team debut, Hook's undefeated, Danhausen, he's the comedy shtick. It's going to be a strange bedfellows thing I don't see for the long haul, but this will be a fun one-night stand, if nothing else. Hookhausen's winning.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun match. For sure. Just a nice little entertaining match to get people hyped up for the show. You know, it's all good. Now, Jargo, do you think they're best off doing a comedy match, or do you think they should do like a more serious match to draw in people and they see a really strong match between two guys that are not comedy wrestlers, and then they're like, well, you know what? If I buy the pay-per-view, I could see more of this. What do you think?
Well, can't you have both? I mean, you've got Hookhausen, right? Like
that'll be 12 matches then.
But I feel like Hook should be a much more serious character while he's in the ring. It should be very good professional wrestling, and then he makes the tag to Danhausen, and you get the comedy spots. Like I think you can have both things all inside of one match. I'm definitely going with Hookhausen here. While I was moving from Iowa to Indiana, the only story in professional wrestling that I kept up on was Hookhausen. It's entertaining, if nothing else, right? I'm loving the dynamic between Hook and Danhausen. Got to go with Hookhausen for the win, and especially with Smart Mark in there. I mean, if Toni Nese had a legitimate tag team partner, maybe I would feel a little bit differently, but I have a feeling that Hook is just going to pummel this dude.
Well, I think because Smart Mark is in this match, we don't have to worry about Toni Nese taking the fall here. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Mikey T, what do you think?
All right, so I watched y'all on stream. It was like Jargohausen and Big G Hausen and Virtue House. I watched you guys on the stream, and I'm like, okay, these guys are making me invested in Danhausen. And then we get the match with Tony Nese, and he loses in 6 seconds. And I'm like, what happened? I'm like, what happened here? So basically, I really like Mark Sterling finding a role to manage an upcoming talent like Tony Nese, though, because, you know, he's with Jade. He's MJF's lawyer. So I really feel like this is a good position for him. But like Jargo said, if Tony had a better partner, you know what I mean, I could be more invested in this. But I think we are going to get that comedic type of match, short match. Hook's going to put the red hook on him. You know what I mean? Throw back to Taz and shit. He's going to put the red hook on him. He's going to choke out Mark Sterling. And this one's going to be pretty quick.
All right.
Red Rum, by the way, is the name of the move, Mikey. Red Rum.
It's the Red Rum? Okay.
Yes.
Red Rum.
Botch.
It's all good. Not everybody has seen The Shining. Big Baller G, what do you think?
So,
Whoa, I've seen The Shining, Aaron. Mikey T, the movie star.
Shame!
there
Shame.
you go.
My bad.
So,
I'm not cursing you. Anyway, go ahead, Big G.
Yeah. No cursing on this live stream, either with words or just with your mannerisms.
So when I first saw Danhausen at a Ring of Honor show, I was thinking to myself, and he came out and he got this big old pop, and I'm thinking, who in the blue hell is this guy? And now then, you know, I see everything on social media, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting behind this Danhausen, and now we got Hookhausen. So I'm gonna go with Hookhausen to win this match. You know, we'll see some comedy. We'll see Hook dominate the match pretty much, and then Danhausen come in, do his very nice, very evil thing, and get the win. So there we go. Simple as that.
All right. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. I guess this is a question for me. He says, when are we getting a Mikey t-shirt? We got to work on that, right?
Yeah, I'd like to sell it on my YouTube channel as well, Aaron. That'd be dope.
All right. We'll definitely get that in the works. Maybe for 4th of July. There's always a big 4th of July sale. Maybe we'll do it then.
I like it. Let's get it together so I can put up some pre-orders on my page as well. We could do a definitely good cross promotion on that.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So now we move on to the main card. We'll talk about the Owen Hart matches. First Owen Hart match we'll discuss is the women's match. We have 2 potential matches here. Well, I guess more than 2 potential matches. What, 4 possible combinations? I'm terrible at math here.
Correct. Yeah.
Winner of Toni Storm versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus the winner of Kris Statlander versus Ruby Soho. This is the disadvantage to doing predictions before the go-home show, but we got so many other streams coming up. We really had no time, so
Right.
how it is. All right. So what we'll do is we'll just predict who's going to be in the match, and then we'll predict who the overall winner is. I guess I'll start on this one. I think Britt Baker is going to be in the finals. She will beat Toni Storm, and then Ruby Soho will beat Kris Statlander. I don't see Kris Statlander being in the finals regardless of whether Toni Storm or Britt Baker wins. So it'll be Baker versus Soho, and I have a theory, and I guess we could tie this in with the men's Owen Hart match, but I think boyfriend and girlfriend are going to win these tournaments. I think Adam Cole and Britt Baker will win the Owen Hart tournaments. That's my official prediction, and you guys can give your men's prediction as well if you want to. But yeah, that's what I'm going with, Adam Cole and Britt Baker. Now, of course, I might change my mind depending on what happens on Dynamite.
There's that disclaimer.
Absolutely.
Good
Big
point.
G, what do you think?
You couldn't have said it any better, Aaron. I was thinking Ruby Soho and Britt Baker for the women's final, since they still have that feud going on. And I'm going with Britt Baker to win. Why would I go against Dr. Britt Baker? I do see Samoa Joe and Adam Cole being in the finals for the men's as well. And I see Adam Cole winning that match as well. So I'm going to agree with Aaron there 100%.
So we know Adam Cole is in the finals, and he's going up against the winner of Samoa Joe versus Kyle O'Reilly. Now, they could do a little throwback with Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly, but I think if they did that, people would start saying, oh, you're just ripping off NXT. And I feel like most of the time, Tony Khan tries to avoid booking WWE versus WWE guy. We have seen it a few times, but not often. I just think Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe would be more interesting, and you have the heel versus face dynamic. So, yeah, I'm going with Joe. Oh, wait a second. We have a cat cameo here, ladies and gentlemen.
Cat
Aaron wrist weakness.
That's my weakness. Is that Joker or Harley?
That's Harley.
How's it going, Harley?
Hi, Harley. Hi, Harley.
How old is Harley?
They are both 9 months.
Holy cow, that cat got huge very quickly.
Harley's the runt of the litter. Oh my God. There's Joker.
Jeez. What are you feeding these cats?
Kitty food.
Yeah. Like they were tiny just a couple months ago. They grow really fast, when they get about 6 months.
Harley's grown, but she's a lot smaller than Joker still. Joker looks like he's a full-size cat.
Now, Aaron.
Yeah.
You say that people will be like, oh, Tony Khan, you're copying NXT. But this could really be an opportunity for Tony Khan to capitalize where Triple H and Vince McMahon missed out in pushing Kyle O'Reilly as a main eventer. If he gives Kyle O'Reilly the win over Samoa Joe and then the win over Adam Cole, he'll have a main eventer built. It's like,
is Kyle O'Reilly really a main eventer though?
I felt like he was going that way at the ending stage of his NXT run. You think he's going to be just suited more for the tag team division?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. That's my take. And with all due respect to him, he's a great wrestler, but
he's more of a tag team guy.
He's a great wrestler, but he has no personality. That's the problem. It's the personality, it's the promos. Like if it was just the wrestling package, absolutely Kyle would be a main eventer. But he's got to go out and cut promos. He's got to have personality, and he's just too much of a goofball to be a real main eventer, as far as I'm concerned.
The selling, though, is part of his charm, though, Jargo. And as far as him moving forward in AEW, I do see him as high as maybe TNT champion.
So, Mikey T, who are you going with?
So with Tony Storm and Britt Baker, I think it's pretty obvious that the former WWE NXT competitor is going to take another loss to the AEW mainstay. And so then I was thinking about Kris Statlander and Ruby Soho. They actually had a match in the TBS tournament where Kris Statlander put Ruby Soho over. But looking back to the fact, Shida was actually replaced in this tournament because of a potential injury. She was replaced by Kris Statlander. So I really don't see Kris Statlander making it into the finals like you were saying, Aaron. And I see it being Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker. I may change my opinion in the future on this, but I don't see them giving both of the Owen Cups to the couple. I don't think they're taking both of those cups home to the same household. I got a feeling Ruby is going to get her win back when she did not get the championship.
Good point.
I think Ruby's going to get her win back from Britt Baker in this match. What happens after that? I don't know. I don't really see Ruby being a great heel. So we'll have to see how things play out.
That's a really solid prediction. And that was one thing I was considering. You would think that a babyface would win the Owen Hart tournament, at least one of the tournaments. And you're right about Ruby. She lost that match to Britt Baker a while back, and this would be a nice turnaround for her.
Did you want me to go ahead with my Samoa Joe and Adam Cole prediction?
Yeah, go for it.
Because after what you guys said, yeah, all right, I'll get off of the Kyle O'Reilly experiment. Samoa Joe's going to take that, but we haven't really seen Singh and Jay Lethal interfere in his tournament matches successfully. So I think that's going to be left for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, where Singh will actually cost Samoa Joe his match, thus pushing their feud a little bit further, and we'll get Adam Cole as the winner of the Owen Cup for the men's division. So those are my predictions for those matches.
All right. Very solid right there. Now we'll move on to Jargo.
I think I might be the only person making this prediction, but I'm going with Toni Storm to win the Owen Cup on the women's side. I mean, when I think of Britt Baker, right? Britt Baker gets absolutely nothing out of winning this cup. right? She's already a certified main eventer on the women's side.
Right.
I don't see Kris Statlander in that context whatsoever. I see her as a TBS champion, best case scenario. So I'm going with Ruby on that side of the bracket. And then give me Toni Storm versus Ruby Soho. Maybe, just maybe, Ruby actually turns heel inside of that match because she's definitely showing some heel tendencies. But I'm going with the best tournament wrestler in the tournament, and that's Toni Storm. Anybody that watched her time over at Stardom, whether it be the 5-Star Grand Prix, whether it be the Cinderella tournament, which she did very well. I mean, she actually won the Cinderella tournament once. I'm going with Toni Storm, and then you have a bona fide babyface main eventer on that other side, which AEW badly needs. As far as the men's tournament, I'm going with Adam Cole, but I do think they're going to pull the trigger. I do think Kyle is going to be the other finalist opposite, which kind of plays into the whole Adam Cole, which way does he want to go? Is he with the Bucks? Is he with the Elite? Is he with Red Dragon? Are we rekindling the Ring of Honor kind of faction? Are we going to do the Undisputed Era thing? I think this is going to be a very definitive moment for Adam Cole against Kyle O'Reilly. Adam Cole gets the win and probably a title shot in the not too distant future.
Right.
Well said there, Jargo. Now, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, who is in the chat room. We met up with him this past weekend, first time getting to see him in person. There's a little shot from our meetup there. We missed Noah Foster, the simple man, but he was there with us in spirit.
Oh, y'all sweet.
And maybe next time we'll get Noah in on the fun. Maybe Jargo can be there. Maybe Big G can make the trip from Eastern Pennsylvania. But yeah, great time with everybody this past weekend in Cleveland. Now, Noah Foster, I'll throw it over to you.
Again, Jargo, this is why you and we are bonded together by Japanese strong style pro wrestling as we honored Hana Kimura yesterday. Again, folks, be a star. Don't be a bully. Don't believe in the WPR machine either. That being said, yeah, the men's, I keep saying it despite all the circumstances, whether Samoa Joe, he literally burns through the pain, and we get Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole or Kyle O'Reilly. He applies his violent technical artistry and attacks that arm that we saw Lethal and Saddam Singh exploit last week on Dynamite. Either way, I do have Adam Cole going forward as the winner in the men's zone. But as far as the women go, Britt Baker talks about conspiracy, but Britt Baker, she doesn't have to win to be the mainstay on AEW in or out of that ring. She's proven it time and time again. Toni Storm, no stranger to winning the tournaments, not only in Stardom, but also NXT. She won the Mae Young Classic. Her and Kyle O'Reilly, they are tournament experts, but I only see one of them moving forward. So as far as my women's final, I do look at this pay-per-view, and I do see something going forward with the TBS championship. I see our next TBS champion sooner rather than later. People think, okay, Dr. Baker DMD has been jaw-jacking with Jade Cargill. Will she maybe be the next challenger for the TBS champion, become TBS champion? I don't think so. I look at Kris Statlander, who has done everything possible to evolve her character. She even said in interviews, this is a choice that she made because, yeah, she has all the tools of the trade, but it wasn't like people were taking her seriously. Now she's more than woman. Now she's applying a whole new attitude. Now, in my opinion, she's ready to be a champion. So this goes one of two ways as far as I'm concerned with her and the Owen. Either the baddies, once again, cost her against Ruby Soho, and Ruby Soho gets the win once again over Kris Statlander 2 times in a row. And you got that dynamic finally you alluded to, Jargo, Toni Storm and Ruby Soho. Or you have Kris Statlander pulling out the win somehow, some way. But I'm not sure what that does for Ruby Soho. And you got first time era with Kris Statlander and Toni Storm, and then who you put over in that could come down to a simple counter roll-up attempt. But as far as what I think who could win the women's Owen, because I want personally to see Kris Statlander as my next TBS champion, she has to go above and beyond this. So my choice right now, so I see especially the go home and Friday, who knows, Ruby Soho might not make it. As of right now, my winner for the women's Owen is Toni Storm as well. And we'll see what Britt says as far as conspiracy goes forward for her. Either way, she still has more ahead for her, no doubt, in AEW. Toni Storm needs something, especially since AEW redefined her passion to prevent her from retiring. So Toni Storm and Adam Cole are my Owen picks to win.
All right.
I want to throw one thing out here, Aaron, because somebody in the chat, I apologize because I don't remember who it was, had brought up Paige Van Zandt. Paige Van Zandt, to me, is your next TBS champion. I think she is going to be the one to beat Jade Cargill, and I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. It might be a year from now. I would keep them on parallel paths, both of them undefeated until they collide, maybe Double or Nothing next year.
Just a note, I was going to say it seemed like Toni Storm losing to Britt Baker, like it doesn't really match up with her other tournament matches. Like she's been a semi-finalist.
Exactly.
Did she win the Mae Young Classic as well?
She did.
She did.
So like I was just trying to say it would be a little bit early for her to go out, but Tony Khan seems to have a thing for beating the WWE superstar, somewhat like the old WWF versus WCW era.
I get it.
Happened.
Well, there's one thing we could say: these Owen tournament finals are definitely not one-dimensional, and I really like that because, again, come Wednesday, I might change both my picks.
Yeah.
All right. Now, before we move on, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, "Have Sheeta screw over Statlander, turning her heel."
Yeah, I think Sheeta needs a heel turn.
I think I'd rather have Ruby Soho as a heel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she has that renegade attitude, so, it would fit probably for her to go heel in a cool way. Hey, Jeff!
They would have to change the music, though, if Ruby Soho went heel, because I would like to see her in Thunder Rosa.
Agree. You got to consider who's going to challenge for the AEW Women's World Championship next after Double or Nothing, regardless of result. Again, everything domino effect.
Right.
Yeah.
Shout out to good old JM Jeff Meacham. He's here in the chat, as is Wade Needham from ringscoops.com. Two great guys. They were also with us in spirit this past weekend. All right. Now we move on. Let's get into this card further.
You got a lot left, Aaron.
We do.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
CBS Championship, Jade Cargill versus Anna Jay.
going the dark order.
So we talked about some possible scenarios. Jargo brought up Paige Van Sant, and Anna Jay's cool and all, but yeah, I think Jade Cargill's retaining here. I do not have much to say about this, and I could see Jargo's scenario playing out. I could see somebody else being built up, but I do not see Anna Jay being the one to dethrone Jade Cargill. Mikey T?
Now, Aaron, do you have little to no interest in this match?
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine, but not much, to be totally honest with you. I don't watch Rampage much, so all I see from Jade Cargill on Dynamite is the little brief promo from her backstage every week.
That's fair, considering that Jade Cargill's been more in action on Rampage, including title defenses, including previously against Anna Jay. This is a rematch. This is round 2. And this simply was brought forward after a post-beatdown angle by Jade Cargill and her baddies, Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet, after Kris Statlander got the better of Red Velvet. Very good match. Backstage, she told Tony Giovanni, cut the beep, and basically called out Anna Jay to come get this butt kicking with the title on the line. But like I said, and like Jargo said, if someone's going to take that title off the undefeated Jade Cargill, it's got to be somebody with either the match game for power and strength or bring her down to the mat and make her tap out. Paige Van Sant, Kris Statlander, either of those cases, check off those boxes. This should be a fun match. Again, Anna Jay continues to grow. Again, one of the originals that literally has been made from AEW. But it's not her time yet, I believe, to be champion out of a match made out of nowhere with no real big story behind it or motivation. Not even John Silver hyped this up, and usually he's the guy that makes me laugh, that always hypes up Anna Jay. So I definitely got Jade Cargill retaining. By hook or by crook.
All right, Mikey T?
Yeah. It's interesting, like Noah was saying, to see this feud start with Kris Statlander and Jade Cargill, while she's still going to the pay-per-view to fight somebody else. It's like they're slow burning it a little bit because they want to give Jade a little bit more time at the top. They're also trying to build up Kris. I don't think they're going to give her the cup. But she will, she's going to get her come up when she ultimately beats the Jade for the TBS title. But here, I think Anna's going to just take the loss. I'm happy to see there be a TBS championship match on the card. We never get these TNT or TBS titles on the pay-per-views, so I'm happy to see that. Well, actually, they did her and her friend Ty Conti 4 months ago.
At Revolution.
Yeah.
It's a TV title. Why would it be on the pay-per-view?
Right.
Every title should be on the pay-per-view, in my opinion.
No,
Agreed.
TV titles should only be defended on television, not on pay-per-view. Cut the match from the show and about 6 other ones.
There you go, Tony Khan. You heard it here first from Jargo.
What do you
All right,
think,
Tony
Big
Khan.
G? What are your
Yeah, I'm
thoughts on
going to
this
go with
match?
Jade Cargill to retain. I mean, I've seen Jade Cargill wrestle on Rampage when I watch it occasionally, and the 2 times I went to an AEW show and we stayed for Rampage, I saw her wrestle. I mean, she's still not, I don't want to say fairly, she's still kind of green in my opinion. She needs to work, do better, but I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill to retain here. Jargo said it earlier, Paige Van Zandt or even Kris Statlander or Ruby Soho could challenge for the TBS title and get it off of her.
All
And
right.
there's history of Ruby Soho and Jade as well, because Ruby Soho was the one that lost to Jade that made Jade champion in the first place.
Right.
Now, Jargo, did we get your pick?
Aaron. Of course, Jade Cargill is going to win this match. I mean, come on. Like, this isn't even close. Like, thanks for coming on, Ajay. It's great to see you and everything. I very much enjoy seeing you on my television. But no, Jade Cargill is going to kill this.
So wait, you're telling me you do not see a card-carrying member of the Dark Order leaving with some championship gold?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
No.
Well, I had it here in my notes. It's good to see Anna Jay getting back in the mix.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
I don't feel like on any plane of existence that she is a real contender for this championship while Jade Cargill holds it. I mean, it just seems so incredibly out of place. It's like, the captain of the football team dating the nerdy girl that nobody talks to. Like, it just doesn't work, right? It just doesn't make any logical sense. And yet here Anna Jay is on pay-per-view for a TV title against arguably the biggest star inside of their women's division. If you watch TNT at all and you see Dynamite previews, any kind of AEW previews, who's the 2 people that they show on those previews? Jade Cargill and Adam Cole.
Baby.
All right, before we move on to the next match, Ring Scoop said, what will be on the menu at the NoDQ headquarters for Double or Nothing? That's actually a good question. We can say real quick. I would go with pizza. That's just the
That's the conventional pay-per-view go-to for me.
Now, what chain would be the choice is the question. We usually switch between Little Caesars. Sometimes we do Hungry Howie's, which is a chain out here in Michigan. And Jets Pizza is another one we might consider. We tend to change it up. Anybody else?
Marco's, Pizza Hut, Vito's. That's usually my go-to 3 right here.
Anybody do something different than pizza?
Oh, I usually pizza and wings sometimes.
Bone in or bone out?
Huh?
Bone in or bone out?
Usually with the bone. Yeah. And I usually get my pizza from Aldi. I get the fresh pizza that we have, put it in the oven, thin crust pizza, good to go.
Shasta?
Jeff loves the Shasta Cola.
Nothing
that's a pop.
Tombstone pizza for me. I love me some Tombstone pizza.
Tombstone's pretty good.
Yeah. You're being called out, Aaron.
Or I usually get Papa John's too. We had Papa John's the other day.
Now, see, I'm not a big Papa John's guy.
I had it all the time because my college had nothing but Papa John's around every corner. Like every event they had was like, why'd you buy Papa John's? They're not bad, but Shaq told me enough, and so did UT with Pizza John's for one lifetime.
There you go.
I was never a big Domino's guy either. I know a lot of people like Domino's.
I lost interest in Domino's. But,
I've never had them.
Interesting.
Serious?
There's only one Domino's in the entire city.
Wow.
Domino's went to hell when they fired the Noid. Bring back the Noid.
I do remember that, Pat Scott.
Occasionally, I'll go to a local joint and get pizza there from like one of our local joints, which is pretty good too.
It's a pretty good deep dish place here in downtown. Pizza Papa's that does some good deep dish pizza. But again, I need to go to Chicago.
Right.
Try the real deal.
Damn it.
I live right by Mystic Pizza. Does anybody know what that is?
I do not.
No, you never. There's like a movie behind it with with Julia Roberts or something like that.
I can't tell you the last movie I watched, Mikey.
I know the movie.
What'd you say, Big G? You heard of it?
I know the movie. I've seen it. It was like a long time ago.
It was called Mystic Pizza, though, Big G, because I'm still trying to figure this out myself. I'm from here. I don't really know about it. I've been there a few times, but I don't really know. You know what I mean?
unpopular opinion of the day. Chicago pizza sucks.
You know what? I like it, but it's not my favorite. Like, I think
It's
any pizza.
marinara and cheese. That's it. Like everything in Chicago is just smothered in marinara.
Ah,
Cheese is the star of the show. I do agree with you on that.
I'm more of a light sauce guy personally, but that's just me.
You would not like Chicago style pizza, Noah.
I'll keep that in mind.
It was all right. It was all right. When I went to Chicago, I had deep dish for the first time. It was all right.
It's good. I mean, Eddie Pizza is good to me, but I honestly like Detroit's deep dish style a lot. I like New York style. New York style done right is really solid. And the New Haven style, the Neapolitan, I like that style too.
New Haven, Connecticut, Aaron?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's near where I'm from. We got a place called Modern Pizza, actually, that my friend just wanted to take me to.
Okay,
So
I gotta readjust my travel stuff besides wrestling now. Pizza places.
Since we're talking about pizza, does anybody here agree or disagree? Does pineapple belong on a pizza?
Absolutely
I can't
not.
judge because I've never had it.
I'm
Okay,
all
thank
right
you.
with it. I mean, I'm not like I don't want pineapple and ham together, but I mean, sometimes if there's a little bit of pineapple on it, it could add to make it a little extra sweet. You know, something.
The sweet and the savory come together in a balance. That's what people love about Hawaiian pizza. People I know, anyway.
Never ordered it though on my own.
No.
Like I've never called one of those
No.
spots like, "Hey, I want some pineapple on my pizza." I don't
No.
spend my money on that.
No, I'm an all meat lovers guy.
I agree with Noah, by the way. Now, let's try to get back to the wrestling talk here. I enjoy the pizza.
This conversation about pizza way more interesting than Anna Jay versus Jade Cargill.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Continue.
This conversation is going to go longer than the TBS title match.
Probably. Now, real quick, though, I want everybody to just name one pizza chain that they would
One
recommend.
Oh.
One pizza chain to the viewers out there watching. You have to pick one. I'm going to start. I will go with Pizza Hut. You got to do a nationwide one. So Pizza Hut.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Papa John's.
All right. Big G's Papa John's. Jargo.
I got to go Little Caesars if I'm going national.
All right. And Mikey T.
All right, so I'm gonna go with it was. Hold on, did you just? I'm gonna go with the most. What is it called? That greasy pizza from back in the day. It was
Pepperoni.
No,
I love pepperoni.
What was it called? It was that pizza spot. It wasn't.
It's got to be a nationwide chain.
Yes,
So
yes.
if it's not obscure, it might not even be nationwide.
No, it's not obscure, man. I just can't remember the name, and I don't want to say Little Caesars.
Chuck E. Cheese.
All right, screw it, man. We'll just go with Regina's.
Never heard of it.
Lord.
We never,
Gosh.
you never heard of Regina's?
No, I haven't.
All right. What about CC's?
CC's I've heard of. So we'll take
I've heard of
CC's.
CC's. There you go.
They're okay. It's like a pizza buffet. They got weird pizzas. My brain is all rattled now. I thought we were on wrestling. When did this come in food? Now I need to order pizza. Anyway, Marco's. Marco's is my family's go-to. Marco's.
All right. Well, I don't think that really helped. Nobody picked the same one that somebody else picked. So whatever. All five of those are solid options. Let's move on.
Hold on. I got to switch my option. I was lying about CC's. I'm sorry. We're gonna go with Frank
2
Pepe's.
hours.
We're gonna go with Frank Pepe's. I've actually been there. You know about Pepe's?
Oh Lord.
Never heard of it in my life.
Okay, Aaron Riff. This is what you need to do.
Sombrero.
You need to do.
I
You
know
need it?
that one. Go to the
Okay,
mall
so
and get that.
Based
There you
on the
go.
pasta, though. I like the pasta they got there.
We need a NoDQ review that is focused on different types of pizza and freaking rate them.
Yeah, we might have to do that on my personal channel at some
Oh,
point.
jeez.
Oh
All right.
Lord.
We're going to move on here. We've had plenty of pizza talk for one night, and now I'm hungry.
Someone timestamp this. Sorry, folks.
All right, 6-man tag team match, not brought to you by any pizza chains. We have Death Triangle versus the House of Black.
Oh,
House
boy.
of Black Rampage mainstays up against the recently reunited Death Triangle. Jargo, I'm going to start with you on this one. How do you feel the House of Black has been doing in AEW these days? And do you think that they need to be doing more?
Well, I think both of these factions need to be doing more. Like, I feel like this should be really, really cool. It should be really, really dark. It should be spooky. It's the House of Black. And they're just three guys. I mean, it just feels flat to me at this point. Like, there's no real creative for me when it comes to the House of Black. It's just Malachi Black rambling aimlessly doing his Bray Wyatt impression, which is fine and dandy, but I want something that he can really sink his teeth into when it comes to the creative. That said, I am going to go with the House of Black in this match simply because Rey Fenix just came back from injury, and for some reason, Rey Fenix got fat. Is anybody else talking about this? It seems like Rey Fenix put on about 30 pounds during the rehab to me. It's super weird. Either that or maybe it's just because he was wearing white. But until the Death Triangle officially changes their name to Triangulo de la Muerta, which sounds so much freaking cooler, I am not going to endorse them winning anything.
Sounds pretty sweet.
That was brilliant.
All right, well, Noah, follow that.
What do I need to say? I'm a member of the House of Black. I feel that they need to win it more here, and I feel they need to do something more with both these trios. We've already seen the House of Black go against Death Triangle in some sort of combination. I believe this is the first time in true trios action we're going to see the original Death Triangle face these three. So it's got to be the end of this, I feel, short-term trios saga. Inevitably leading towards maybe Malachi Black and his crew being contenders for what's going to be real, I guess, trios tag team championships in AEW. But not even thinking about that, just thinking about more about the House of Black. I got the House of Black going over here because the house always wins. As far as Rey Fenix going fat, and maybe he had more pizza while he was on rehab, but House of Black.
How is that line not been said? It's double or nothing, and the house always wins.
There you go.
Yep, House of Black wins this one. They definitely need the win. Big G, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it should be. I mean, the storyline stuff is amped, but the match should be really good. I mean, we're gonna have the high spots with Death Triangle and all of the big moves and stuff like that from House of Black. Speaking of which, House of Black is the headline for Celeb Fest 5 coming in October because the house always wins. We're getting all three members, Murphy, Malachi, and Brody King.
Who are they facing, G?
Huh?
Who are they facing, or are they just doing a signing?
No, it's just the signing. Yeah, the company that runs it, IPO, they are bringing in the House of Black as the headliner for Slugfest 5 in October. But I am going with House of Black to win the match. Like you said, it's double or nothing. The house always wins.
Mikey T, would you like to go against the popular opinion?
Guys, I'm really sorry I'm stuck on this, but could I go with California Pizza Kitchen? Is that
sure?
Okay.
I will make it official. Okay.
All right. So
I'm in a suit.
I gotta say I agree about the House of Black falling flat. So it's like, what's Tony Khan gonna do here? He's gonna give it another try. He's gonna give it the Tony Khan try here, and he's gonna push him over Neville and quite possibly, Pac. And quite possibly the best tag team in the last decade, the Lucha Bros. They're the best tag team in my opinion, but they're gonna get beat here by Tattooless Murphy and I can't seem to catch my spot, Brody King and Malachi Black, who's just stuck with them for some reason, running a faction that I don't think we really needed. You know what I mean? So everybody wanted this faction, but I don't think Malachi really needed it. But I say let's give them the win here and see what we can do with this. They don't really have anybody else to really get all gothic on, so this their gimmick isn't really working out here.
Is there any way that we could get Penta to just join the House of Black in this match? Could we do it like a Stardom match, Noah, where whoever eats the pin has to join the other faction? Because Pentagon Black just seems like it makes sense to me.
Right.
It really does. And I think about when Momo Watanabe turned against Queen's Quest and joined Oedo Tai. Again, you and me, Drago, on the same page. I wouldn't mind seeing some sort of angle like that. That'd be an interesting way to make a finish to this match, too.
And Mikey, I agree with you about the Lucha Bros, that they are one of the greatest tag teams in the world. But I am so ready for Penta to just turn heel and go against his brother at this point, because I like Penta as a main event heel way more than I like him just doing the Cerro Mero thing constantly to like an obnoxious level. Like, just turn him heel like he was in Lucha Underground, turn him back into the Breaker of Bones, and have him just start hurting people, because that's the Penta I want.
Yeah,
and with Rey Fenix being this all-white, any mold type identity now, as we saw with his match with Kyle O'Reilly, it makes perfect sense. Light versus dark, brother versus brother. It writes itself.
Yeah, he would bring that group together as well. If him and his manager were doing that character within the House of Black on a weekly basis, that would bring the group together a little bit more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
City by the Bay says 100% Mr. J. So there you go. All right. Now we move on. Next up, we have a triple threat tag team match for the AEW tag team titles. We have the champs, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, defending against Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, and Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks.
Absolute Ricky Starks.
Yes. Big G, I'm going to start with you on this one. Tag team titles up for grabs. Noah, how long have the Jurassic Express been champs? They've been champs since
they've been champs. Go ahead, Big G.
They beat Rey Fenix and Pentagon,
Yes, they beat the Lucha Brothers for the title back literally when the TBS era basically began. In January. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what are we in now?
This is May. Yes.
It should be a fun match. You know, I like the combination of Swerve and Keith Lee as a tag team. You know, you got the High Flower, you got the Powerhouse. You got Powerhouse.
January 5th is the answer to your question. January 5th.
Okay. So okay.
When they went to TBS.
I'm gonna go with new tag team champions. I'm gonna go with Powerhouse Hobbs and Absolute Ricky Starks.
Okay.
All right. So Noah Foster, Simple Man, agree with Big G or disagree?
Well, the thing is, there's identity among all three of these teams. You got a hybrid Powerhouse that can move like a cruiserweight. Well, Hobbs is more so like the definitive type big man you expect in the industry that just throws his body in anybody and destroys them. And then you got the dynamic hybrid high flyer, can adapt on the fly type of wrestler, and Jungle Boy, Ricky Starks, and Swerve Strickland. And again, with that triple threat tomorrow with those three men, that right there could kind of lead me more towards maybe my decision. But looking at these three right now, when it comes to AEW, tag team wrestling is their main event. It is their focal point of that company. Let's just be honest here, gentlemen. Jurassic Express has held these titles now for a few months, but more so you've had Team Taz, Powerhouse Will Hobbs, and Absolute Ricky Starks feuding with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. It feels like more of that's going to play out here versus the champs just basically making another statement. Keep in mind, the champs were once again in a triple threat affair. They survived two of the other best tag teams we all can agree on the world in Red Dragon and the Young Bucks at AEW Revolution. That match was a banger too. But I think about who could take these titles off Jurassic Express. Where does it take Jurassic Express next to? I look more so at there being something more for Jungle Boy out of the two if they drop the title, especially with this teasing, it seems, of, okay, mentorship, jealousy, disappointment with Christian Cage. You tell me. Considering they literally met 1 year ago and Christian Cage endorsed him. But that being said, for right now, I'm just going to be fun and change it up a bit. Because, again, I can change it up after tomorrow night. I really like the combination right now of Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland himself. And it just would be a huge just in-your-face Team Taz type thing after Team Taz got the Betterment Tag Team match. If those two got the win somehow over Team Taz. So I'm actually going with Swerve in his glory to become new tag champs.
All right. Interesting choice there, Noah. Now, I think this is going to be an awesome match, but I think there's a problem. I think the hottest tag team in AEW is not in this match. And my pick for the hottest tag team is FTR.
There you go.
Those guys should be the tag team champions right now, in my opinion. So maybe Colin Andrew has a good idea here. Team Taz, the belts have to change.
I do agree about that.
Yeah,
get them on some heels and have them as transitional champions, get those titles on FTR. But
exactly,
I am going to lean because it's only been about 4 months, I'm going to lean with the champs retaining. But this one, I think I might have to see Dynamite and see what they do on the go home. It's a tough call for me. But right now, Noah, you could put me down for the champs retaining, but I'm not feeling confident about that pick. Jargo, what do you think?
I don't like this match. I don't like this match at all. Because I feel like it is time. I feel like Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus need to lose these titles. I feel like Christian needs to convince Jungle Boy to turn heel, break up Jurassic Express, make Jungle Boy a single star, like give him the concerto, the double concerto, whatever you got to do to take out the big dinosaur, right? Maybe repackage Austin, bring him in. But I don't like putting the titles on Team Taz. I don't like putting the titles on Swerve and Keith Lee. I wish that it was somebody else opposite of Jurassic Express inside of this matchup. I got to go Jurassic Express to retain because I feel like the other 4 guys in this match all better off as single stars.
Solid point there, and I'm pretty much agreeing with you on that. Like, I would not mind if Starks and Hobbs won, just because I think Starks needs an actual title instead of the AEW title. Yeah. It's kind of a joke at this point.
Yep, I completely agree. I would love to see Team Taz win this match. I just don't see it happening right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. What do you think, Mikey T?
Yeah, I think Gerard McClare has a point about FTR being added to the match, Fatal 4-Way, especially since Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus actually just had a triple threat tag team match at the last pay-per-view, but they actually kind of fit well into this match, Aaron, because they were actually building up Swerve and Keith Lee versus Team Taz for quite some time, and then they had a couple build-ups in the ring with all 3 of the teams. So it didn't just come out of nowhere, this match, really. But in all honesty, I think it should have went like you said. FTR is on a quest to put together all the tag team titles. They had the storyline right there with them putting the 3rd title together at Double or Nothing. But we're not there. I don't even think at this point FTR is on the card. That's crazy that one of their hottest teams, their hottest acts, isn't on the card right now. I think we get a title retention from Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Just because this whole Christian and Jungle Boy thing, they need a couple more months for it to build over. So at the next pay-per-view in September, they can have a singles match. Unless I kind of like what Jargo was saying with turning him heel and have Christian, take out Luchasaurus. But I'm thinking the champs retain here. Slow build to Christian versus Jungle Jack.
Yeah, and that's definitely a feud that I see coming. And again, Ricky Starks already owns a pinfall victory over both Jungle Boy and Swerve Strickland. Tomorrow night, those 3 are in a triple threat match. That right there might be a definitive factor towards us changing our prediction at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got some real gold.
Yeah, we got everybody's picks?
Yes. That is correct.
All right, we'll move on then.
6 down, 5 to go.
Do we need another pizza talk intermission?
I mean, I could order Little Caesars right now. I am kind of hungry. But no, I think we're good.
All right.
I still haven't found the chain I was talking about.
All right.
Uh-oh.
We got a tag team match. Holla, holla, holla. 3rd one in a row we're talking about here. We got the Young Bucks versus the Hardys. First time in AEW. This should be a fun one. A lot of people consider the Young Bucks to be younger versions of the Hardys. So why not? And I think they fought each other shortly before the Hardys went back to WWE.
Yeah. Literally the night before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is Ring of Honor reincarnated.
All right. So, Noah, we're going to go right back to you on this one. What do you think about this match?
I'm not sure at this point. It comes down to, okay, what does either team have to gain in victory? What happens to a team that's in defeat? And let's be honest, Jeff Hardy's not 100%. He hasn't been 100% since coming to AEW physically. He's damaged, but the truth could be said about, honestly, Matt Jackson's back. So those are the 2 biggest things I definitely see being exploited here. Tagline here is elite versus delete. I think about right now the Young Bucks. Are they really the undisputed elite with Adam Cole and Red Dragon? Are they just doing their own thing? Does a loss have more tension with that faction? Considering Red Dragon's like, we probably could do what you couldn't. And if the Hardys win, do the Hardys try and go after the AEW World Tag Team Championships against whatever team comes out of that triple threat? This one right here, I can literally toss a coin about. So, I'm just trying to think. Young Bucks were just involved at Revolution. They were in that triple threat match. They were involved in the decision where one of them got pinned. I think they're going to get their win back here. I'm going to say the Young Bucks pull it out by hook or by crook. Maybe Brandon Cutler uses Cold Spray in one of the Hardy's faces.
All right, Mikey T, your thoughts?
This match right here has pretty much been built on one backstage conversation and then them having one in-ring battle. I really honestly felt like they were building up towards the Hardys versus Sting and Darby Allin. Like I thought that was written in stone for Double or Nothing. That had money written all over it. For this match to just be thrown in our face, honestly, I feel like this could be the opening match of the show. Started off with a big pop. The Hardys are going to win this thing, and we'll see what happens in the future when they go at it for the tag team titles.
Oh, and you brought up a good point about Darby Allin and Sting, but the fact the Undisputed Elite took out Sting, Darby Allin could cost the Bucks here. Good point, Mike T. You just encouraged me, at least for now, to change my pick. I'm with you.
I hate when I do that because I'm coming for that number one spot.
Hey, Aaron Britt's got the leaderboard. You're close. We only have one pay-per-view in.
Yeah, we still got a lot to go. All right, Big G, give us your thoughts.
I mean, it should be a fun match. I enjoy both tag teams, the Hardys and the Young Bucks. I'm going to go with the Hardys here to win the match. This could be their final run, in the wrestling business. And I mean, the Young Bucks, they could use the win, but we know the Young Bucks are going to be around for another 10 years. Whereas the Hardys, this could be their, like I said, they even said it when I was at the indie show, this is their final run. So whether the Hardys, when they win, whether they go after the AEW tag team titles or not, this should be one hell of a match between the two. So I'm going with the Hardys.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm going to go with the Hardys as well, just because I think you should keep Jeff's momentum going, and you could potentially have the Hardys going for the tag team titles at some point. I think they should definitely keep that story going. The Hardys trying to have one more run as tag team champions. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Hardys to win. Could see some shenanigans, outside interference. Jargo, what do you think?
I was responding to a comment in the chat. I'm torn because I will not be able to make my pick until this match starts. Because I am leaning Young Bucks unless if we get Broken Matt and Brother Nero, Elite versus Delete, I got to go Broken Hardys. I like if the Broken Hardys come out, I'm definitely going Hardys. Otherwise, I think I go Young Bucks.
All right. We'll move on here to the next match. We have the AEW Women's Championship up for grabs.
I want to go first on this one.
Thunder Rosa defending against Serena Deeb. Now, there was a stat online. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but Thunder Rosa apparently has had like a combined, I'm not even sure how long.
It was 64. I thought I saw Colin post it. 64 minutes of television time since she won the title.
That actually sounds like a decent amount. Although it's been several
months.
months.
Considering what other companies are doing, not that I'm pulling out any names, but yeah, you would be accurate.
Somebody find that stat. Oh, so Colin's going to pull it up, I think.
60 minutes in 5 months, that would be, or 4 months, that would be pretty much, Aaron. So that would be 16 television shows.
She won minutes in 64 days.
It's 20 minutes in 64 days.
So
20 minutes in 64 days?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, Thunder Rosa hasn't really lit the world on fire as champion as far as I'm concerned. But Big G, you're going to go first on this one. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I
was at AEW in Baltimore a couple weeks ago, and when they had that segment on the stage, the crowd was flat. I mean, there was no cheer. I mean, when Thunder Rosa came out, there was a little pop. When Serena came out, there really wasn't nothing. And both women are very talented, don't get me wrong, but the way they are being booked right now, especially Thunder Rosa after beating Dr. Britt Baker DMD in that steel cage match, it has felt flat, completely flat. And I guess they're doing everything possible, to build this match up, but I'm just not feeling it. Like I said, nothing against these two women, both very talented, but I have zero to little interest in this match. But I'm going with Thunder Rosa to retain here.
I mean, I'm going to agree with you, Big G. Champ retain should be a good match. I'm sure it will.
It should be, yeah. But just the way they booked this match is
I'm just not super excited for this one. Noah, what are your thoughts?
Well, I echo the same sentiments as you two, gentlemen, with Thunder Rosa retaining, considering that she's looking to get back a win over Serena Deeb, because, again, these two have great history going all the way back to the NWA for the Burke. That being said, both these women, they want to drive women's wrestling forward, but as far as the booking goes, it really has fallen flat. And I did recently go on the Twitter feed for AEW, and Thunder Rosa will speak tomorrow, so I'm hoping there'll be some sort of, go-home, punchline that really gets me into this, but at this point, I just don't know. No doubt these women are going to be out to prove a point in the ring, but it's what you do before then that draws the money, and so far, it has not drawn a big profit for me. Either way, I do have the champ retaining. Thunder Rosa literally has only had one title defense against Nyla Rose at Battle of the Belts, and while she wrestles all over the place outside of AEW, she's actually only had 2 other matches outside of AEW. So, yeah, they really need to push their champion more in that ring, on TV. So hopefully they give them good quality time on the pay-per-view, and this match does deliver based on the quality of both the athletes. Right. But the chance retaining regardless. It's not Serena Deeb's time yet. Too soon.
All right, Mikey T, agree or disagree with the Simple Man?
It's like Tony Khan is he's throwing away great potential main event matches for his pay-per-views, because he could have had Britt Baker versus Toni Storm in this spot, and all of us would have cared about this match a lot more, with Toni Storm coming off that major match with Charlotte Flair, but he's decided to give us Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa. It's a little bit odd, a match that relatively probably nobody cares about compared to a match that everybody would care about. I don't see where his booking logic is here. This is a placeholder match for Thunder Rosa. They built up Serena Deeb tremendously, though, with those under 5-minute challenges, all up until the promo this past week with Dustin Rhodes. Things were looking good, but now it looks like we have another Hangman Page situation with Thunder Rosa. She isn't exactly the center of attention, and it's harder for her to get over, being that, she doesn't really have any contenders. The 2 people that we've seen her face is kind of their throwaway matches, but Thunder Rosa is going to retain here. We're going to give it the old Tony Khan try, as I say. We're going to push it another few months and see what happens.
And now we go over to Jargo.
I think Thunder Rosa absolutely retains inside of this match, but I do think the match is going to be really, really good. The creative for this program is just incredibly flat. Serena Deeb is a fantastic wrestler, very much like the Kyle O'Reilly thing we were talking about earlier. Just the personality doesn't translate on television. She has to tell her stories in the ring between the ropes versus an opponent. That's what she has always been great at. Unfortunately, Thunder Rosa is very, very much the same way. It feels like Vince McMahon is booking this program, and suddenly we have a champion who can't go out there and cut a promo for 15 minutes. So we're just going to keep her off of the show. That's very much the way the whole Thunder Rosa championship reign has felt to me. She's not getting the mic time that Britt does because of the accent, and English is her second language, to which my solution is let her just go out there and speak freaking Spanish. I'm completely fine with that. Caption her. Do what they do with Io Shirai down inside of NXT. Just let her be herself rather than this completely manufactured crap that they've been doing with her since she won the championship.
All right. Well, fair enough. And now we'll move on to our next match of the evening, which is going to be a slobber knocker, a barn burner, a jilly jacker, to say the least. We got the Jericho Appreciation Society, the JAS, going up against Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Santana, Ortiz, Eddie Kingston. It is Anarchy in the Arena, which to me sounds like Stadium Stampede with fans. I feel like that's what this is going to end up being. It is going to be a wild brawl. They're going to fight all over the place in the stands, in the concession area. It's going to be crazy. Just Pier 6 brawl, all that craziness that you would come to expect when 10 guys are in there and they have a grudge to settle. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, the question is, who is going to emerge victorious in this contest, this gentleman's contest? Jargo, we're going to go right back to you on this one. Who do you think wins the match?
I mean, it's got to be the pro wrestlers, right? You can't put over the sports entertainers, not the way that this thing has been built. That'd be like just giving a win to WWE, right? So I've got to go with the LA Combat Club. That's what I'm calling this team. It's LAX and the Blackpool Combat Club. They've got to win this match. The only question I have is, how is Eddie Kingston going to maintain his cool? I guess would be I mean, would it surprise anybody if this ends up being like 4 guys from the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Jericho Appreciation Society versus Eddie Kingston? Like Eddie Kingston just starts fighting everybody. I'd totally be down for that. But I still go with the Blackpool Combat Club getting the win here, because there's no way you can put over a sports entertainer over a professional wrestler.
Well, it's a tough call for me. I'm definitely torn between the two teams, but I'm thinking ahead, and I feel like they are going to do blood and guts, which means this will not be the last match between these guys. I think the feud will continue, and because of that, I think it makes more sense for the heels to win the first match, have the good guys get their revenge in the cage. So I'm going to disagree and say the sports entertainers win this one. The Jazz pick up the win. Maybe some suspension. And I mean, you can have Santana or Ortiz take the pin in this one. Although on the other team, you have a couple of guys that could take the pin, the 2.0 guys. Big G, what do you think?
Wait, Aaron, what are their names?
Matt Bernard and something. Don't know the other guy at all.
People are going to win on pay-per-view, and we don't even know their names.
Isn't it like Trey's something?
One's Cool Daddy.
Oh, Lord.
Wasn't one Cool Daddy and the other one Angelo?
Something like that.
No, well, what are their names?
Cool Hands is Angelo. Oh, my goodness.
Pinhead and Squarehead.
They're going to be called 2.0 after this weekend, I think, again.
Well, Kevin Steen will still say 2.0 rules, so I mean.
All right. Mikey, you gave your pick?
So it's a 10-man match. All I got to say is thank God Wheeler Yuta isn't in this match. There's too many top guys on Eddie's team to lose, Aaron.
Good point. I mean, that is very valid.
There's too many top guys on there. You know, I think Jericho will probably leave his team to lose the match. Once they're already losing, he's going to leave those 2.0 guys in there. They're all going to take the finishers, Garcia, Cool Daddy Mac, and Angelo Lopez or whatever his name is. So then I think maybe Jericho will take Jake Hager with him. You know, he'll be like, let's get out of here, Jack. You know what I mean? Just to save face. And then, we might get another match. I don't really think these guys deserve blood and guts, Aaron. You know what I mean? I want to see another blood and guts match, but I don't think 2.0 deserve to be in there. But Jericho and Jake will probably tell him, like, listen, we had to leave you guys. You need to learn the hard way. That's what professional entertainment is about, or whatever, some type of crap like that. So that's my prediction. Moxley, Bryan, LAX, they're going to win. LA Combat Club.
All right. Noah Foster.
Okay, let's see. The two names, by the way, are Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. That being said, Jericho Appreciation Society, a standard in sports entertainment now for 11 weeks, competing on AEW Double or Nothing. How do you go against the Blackpool Combat? Because the personification of violence in professional wrestling, led by the mind William Regal, where you got John Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and Bryan Danielson. Conflict, chaos, anarchy galore is the name of the match. I expect Eddie Kingston to literally have a fight with everybody, because at the end of the day, he just wants to destroy Chris Jericho and make him, storytelling-wise, feel the same pain that his wife felt when Jericho basically became a wizard out of Harry Potter and shot a fireball in Eddie Kingston's face. Whether or not he tries that again, or the Dipping Dots survive to tell the tale of this absolute war in the arena that I'm going to enjoy, as we always have that fan interaction type match on these pay-per-views to really wake the fans up. Just saying. Remember what happened at Revolution with Sting? Regardless, it's Blackpool Combat Club, Kingston, and Santana and powerful for me all the way. And this is not only going to be entertaining, this is going to be darn sure physical, to say the least.
All right. Big G, do you even have to say anything? You're wearing the shirt.
No, don't. I mean, this is not going to be a match. This is going to be a fight.
Daggone right.
This is going to be a fight. Will we see blood? Yes. Will we see violence? Yes. You know, will we see somebody get their leg broken? Maybe. I don't know.
Will we see a popcorn machine used?
Will we see a ramp that goes right up to the ring? Or will they be, a traditional ramp where you go up the stairs and get into the ring?
Yeah, after Friday night, I hope that they get rid of that.
Aaron, Jeff had asked me what my issue with Wheeler Yuta is.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to say, like, I see Colin said that Wheeler Yuta was getting it in the Cleveland scene, I guess. Wheeler Yuta, pure champion. I just kind of feel like when he first faced John Moxley, he came in, he took the paradigm shift, and he lost within 20 seconds. I just thought it was kind of ultimately disrespectful for Wheeler Yuta to be taking 2 paradigm shifts, being a bloody mess, and still kicking out. I just thought that was really unrealistic. And now it's like, who can't kick out of the paradigm shift? So that's why I have an issue with Wheeler Yuta.
Shout out to Wheeler Yuta, tearing it up in the Best of Super Juniors.
Yeah, hanging with the likes of El Desperado and Robbie Eagles, though, who got victory over him. We got to think about that maybe towards Forbidden Door, Jargo. He's definitely had one hell of a run and definitely has endorsed a lot of respect from New Japan Pro Wrestling, junior heavyweight greats. Loving the Best of Super Juniors so far.
So what do you make of the way that Tony Khan used him when he first came into AEW? Is it just paying dues, losing the guys in 20 seconds?
I think so. I mean, Go out there, get some sympathy on the kid. You build up a little bit of fan support for him, and then you actually show people what a badass he is. Because, I mean, while he was with the Best Friends, he kind of presented as a joke. He was like the Master Watto of AEW, and now he's over there beating Master Watto's ass. It's great.
Exactly, and it's a slow burn over time, building somebody up. That could be the future of your company.
I kind of felt like he got the Roderick Strong treatment where they would give him like some matches, like they're trying to give him some matches where he can compete with people but not get the win ultimately.
Well, but I mean, that's in a weird way. This is kind of Japanese storytelling, right? Where you have the young boy comes in, the young boy loses every match. He goes off on excursion. He comes back and he's a whole new performer. Like we're seeing this kid start from nothing. And as we build him up, 3-4 years from now, suddenly he's winning the majority of his matches and he's a legitimate contender, but you got to start somewhere.
Exactly. You don't build a superstar or a top-tier professional wrestler overnight. Jay White is personification of that in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He leads Bullet Club.
Yeah, I hear you guys, man. Yep. I respect you guys' take on that, man. You guys schooled me on a few things as well. You know what I mean? Just seeing him from AEW, just seeing him coming in and taking the jobs, it was a little bit odd to seeing him kicking out of 2 finishers, bloodied mess like Shawn Michaels, you know what I mean, or Bret Hart type shit, and then kicking out of all those moves. It was a little bit unbelievable to me, as a spectator, but yeah, man, we'll see what happens with him in the future. I mean, he's got a title from ROH. That company's coming back, so I hope he can really, be around for the long haul.
And I've seen those pure championship matches, man. They are something else.
They are something special, to say the least.
I can't wait till Jonathan Gresham gets into AEW.
Get well soon, Octopus.
Yep.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, join the Jargo Appreciation Society.
And me and him are basically card-carrying members of that because, again, we watch Japanese pro wrestling.
Yes. And we'll have to get both of you on for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view predictions for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Only if we get CM Punk versus Kenta. If that match does not happen, I refuse to watch that show.
Well, I'm going to need your help, Jargo, because I might not be able to pronounce half of the names on the show.
He's like, yeah, he's going to need you to host that show.
That's a shoot, brother.
Kazuchika Okada, Tetsuya Naito, Hiromu Takahashi. Come on, it's not that
just
difficult.
Say their last names. All you have to do is say their last names. You'll be
This
fine.
is not the WWE where you have short-term memory loss, it seems. You can't remember 2 dadgum names for your life.
I like when they just shorten the name and it makes it easier for me to pronounce it. Anyways, we got 2 matches left, guys. We're almost done here. We might have been able to finish before the start of NXT if we had not talked about pizza. For 10 minutes.
Oh no! Heaven forbid we miss NXT.
Nice.
Oh no! I'm missing Nickelodeon presentation, sports entertainment. Oh, woe is me!
Chain. I just remembered the pizza chain. It is Papa Gino's, baby. Papa Gino's.
Never heard of it.
What? You've never heard of Papa Gino's?
No. And I didn't know that there were that many Papa Pizza places.
Oh gosh!
You guys have heard of Papa Gino's, right, Jargo?
I mean, I tell you what. If I need one slice of pizza, and it's like 3:00 in the morning, and I've been drinking all night, there is a place in Peoria, Illinois, called Hoops. That's where I'm going for. If I can have one slice of pizza, I'm going to Hoops.
Good Lord Almighty!
I do want to say public service announcement: do not be drinking and doing anything at 3 a.m. I mean, there are people out there doing some crazy stuff.
Bars in Illinois are open till 4, Aaron. So you leave the bar, you walk down the street. They got a little window. You get a piece of pizza because you can buy it by the slice. Hoops is the place to go.
How do you not know what Papa Gino's is?
I mean, I got a regular Gino's here. I'm not sure if that's the same thing, Mikey T, but that also is one of the most premier locations here in the city. It's just called Gino's
hasn't
here.
Heard of it either?
Hey, wait, not to get off topic here or anything, but
We've already gone
Noah,
off topic.
you're calling in your house next weekend. You're going to get to talk about Joe Gacy versus Braun Breaker. How exciting is that?
Oh yes, where we all are in an inclusive world. That's entertainment, folks.
I popped for that one.
Why is it Joe Gacy and not the guy? Why is it not?
Why is it Joe Gacy and not literally anybody else?
Why is NXT still a thing?
Because Vince McMahon says that's good. You know what?
Apparently so. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, "Imagine Robbie Vice on a Forbidden Door panel." Oh, we may have to do that.
Is Robbie a big New Japan guy?
Robbie Eagles has been there for a while, mixing it up with the junior heavyweights. Former member of Bullet Club, now member of Chaos. He is a former IWGP junior heavyweight champion. So he's got a spot.
He said Robbie Vice, not Robbie E.
Wyatt too.
He didn't say Robbie E. Noah. He said Robbie Vice from the panel.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking New Japan Pro Wrestling. I almost thought about Roppongi Vice. I mean, if Robbie Vice knows anything about New Japan, that would surprise me.
All right, guys, you ready for the semi-main event?
What is it?
Let's go ahead and do it.
We have.
Oh,
never mind.
Well,
put the graphic back up. I'm gonna see if she'll choose which one.
The cat will point towards which one.
Are you pulling a Jerry, Big G?
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh man. I'm not sure if that was Keyboard Cat or he was literally pointing towards MJF or Wardlow.
I was thinking Keyboard Cat too. Okay, seriously though, we got to get moving on this.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry, MJF, for the cat hijacking your match here.
Screw MJF. Screw MJF.
The new Goldberg or the new Batista, depending on how you're looking at it. Wardlow. And in this match, Wardlow, I guess if he beats MJF, he is free from his contract. But if he loses, he can no longer sign an AEW contract, and he'll be basically a servant to MJF for all of eternity. So
pretty much.
Yeah, this is interesting because the way the stipulation is, it makes me think there's no way Wardlow can lose this one. But what do you guys think? Noah, we'll start with you on this one.
Well, considering this is a complete opposite mirror retrospective of what happened with MJF and Cody Rhodes, where you had the same stipulations and you saw the result of the pay-per-view where MJF won via tomfoolery, it's the exact opposite here where you have a feel-good story as you're building a top babyface. Wardlow's going over. Ever since Wardlow finally turned in his resignation at AEW Revolution, given that $100K Dynamite Marine to CM Punk to knock MJF out during that dog card match, basically MJF has literally made Wardlow's life a living hell. So Wardlow and MJF, they signed a deal together. Basically, you signed a deal with the devil. one more obstacle to go, and that's tomorrow night. I don't see Wardlow losing tomorrow night, no matter what, gentlemen. So that being said, we're going to see Tony Schiavone have the utmost happiness ever on commentary as MJF gets Powerbomb Symphony to obliteration. I'm going to guess at least 10 times, and Wardlow gets the win here. Wardlow beats MJF, new theme, freed man, and will soon be all elite.
Well said, Noah. Jargo, we'll go to you next on this one.
Noah, I love you. And we agree on so many things. But not this time. Not this time. I'm going with MJF to win this match. For no other reason than it's just more intriguing. If Wardlow wins this match, then where does it go? What's next for either one of these guys? I feel like MJF has to win this match, and this thing gets drawn out until All Out.
Ooh. I kind of have an idea where I think MJF could go, but I'll save that for the main event. But I appreciate that, Jargo. Again, it never hurts to have an opposite opinion.
So this kind of ties in with the main event too. I was always thinking that MJF would be the guy to beat Hangman Adam Page for the world title. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, CM Punk could end up winning the title, but that really doesn't change the fact that both of them need a heel challenger. They're both baby faces, although we could get a heel turn from somebody. That is certainly a possibility. Man, I'm really torn. The thing I'll say about this pay-per-view is both of these matches, these top two matches, and to me, these are definitely the two top matches.
Without a doubt.
I'm having trouble making a prediction on this one. I'm going to say that MJF picks up the victory with some kind of shenanigans. He's going to use every dirty trick in the book, and something's going to happen here because it feels like Wardlow winning is too obvious. And yeah, good point. Where does Wardlow go if he wins? Like, I feel if MJF wins, you could set up a rematch at some point, and you could build up MJF for either CM Punk or Hangman Adam Page and have him win the world title. And then maybe at that point, Wardlow finally gets his rematch, and then maybe Wardlow becomes the next champion. We'll see. Well, but I'm going to go with MJF.
As was said in the chat, MJF losing on back-to-back pay-per-views is absolutely insane, right? Like, MJF really needs this win. He really needs this win just to establish himself back into that main event picture.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because Wardlow's hot right now. So they got to it's going to be a tough match to book. I'm curious to see what Tony Khan comes up with for this one, because
as long as they don't pull the same shenanigans they did with Chris Jericho and MJF, where remember back at All Out last year, if Jericho lost, he can never wrestle again. Match was restarted, Jericho became the winner. So I'm really torn on the approach to this booking too, but something to me feels like Wardlow should get the win here. Feel a good story. Feel a good moment for the audience. MJF, he's a guy that will still do something to make sure he reminds you why he's better than you, and you know it. And eventually do see him become an AEW world champion.
Aaron,
we have a couple of super chats here. Yeah,
Psycho Jet Black's one is interesting, Aaron. I wanted to touch on that a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because I was going to ask, you guys were talking about it. He says, who should MJF recruit to replace Wardlow? Now, what if this could be a point in time where, let's say, Paul White could come in and make some TV appearances alongside MJF?
That's definitely booking.
Like, that's the only way. If we can get like a Paul White or a Mark Henry, maybe.
How about this? Not him per se, but there's a guy that's been missing for a while, and he could fit right in there. Another monster to go up against Wardlow.
Braun Strowman.
And we've officially broke Aaron Riff. The silence speaks volumes.
I was about to say Brian Cage, man.
I was going to say Brian Cage, but yeah, thank you for putting Braun Strowman in my brain.
Tully Blanchard Enterprises. Oh, let's Lord.
Braun Strowman out there, man. Brian Cage.
I'm going to throw out my line. Brian Cage might be there, but Braun Strowman, highly unlikely in all likelihood.
As long as that guy is part of Control Your Narrative, that ain't happening in a million years.
What about
just hating on my comment? He said Paul White, Mark Henry, really?
What about Harry Smith?
Harry Smith.
That's a thought.
I mean, because you got to find somebody that'll fit into the definition of the Pinnacle too.
True, because
there a
MJF did say the
Pinnacle anymore?
Pinnacle is still a thing.
Is it really? Even though FTR are baby faces?
I'm not a big fan of another guy being brought in. Like they got to focus on the guys already there, and apparently Brian Cage is sticking around for a while, so they might as well put him in there.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
Tully
well,
and MJF still work together.
ROH.
Then
True.
clearly it should be Pineapple Pete.
All right, Pineapple Pete. Rock
Pineapple
on.
Pete, I hate that guy.
What about that?
Stupid Pineapple Pete.
What about Lee Moriarty?
That'd be an interesting swerve.
No, all right. So, anyways, so this match is pretty easy to predict. They put Wardlow's chances of re-signing on the line, so I don't think they're gonna let him lose. Wardlow's gonna get the victory. Although I did want to make a joke about him losing to Shawn Spears, but that joke probably wouldn't even have landed. So let's just go along with it. Wardlow is gonna win this match. Where do they go? That's a big question, though. It would be more intriguing to keep this thing strung out. You know what I mean? Throughout the summer, maybe Wardlow comes back at All Out and cost MJF the championship against CM Punk. Spoiler alert for my next prediction.
Oh, well
So
then.
let's move on.
All right, Big G, have you gone yet?
No,
No, I
we're
have
2 and
not.
2. He's the tiebreaker.
Alright.
This should be a good match. I honestly think this has been one of the better storylines in AEW in the past couple months. Wardlow's been going through everybody MJF has brought in, including Morrissey, W. Morrissey from Impact Wrestling. That would be a nice pick for MJF if Morrissey would come to AEW and have another big guy.
How about Enzo?
How you doing?
Enzo. Yeah, I mean, well, MJF can talk on the mic, so you really don't need Enzo, but Enzo would be a good choice too. That'd be pretty cool. But I'm going with Wardlow too. I mean, he is hot right now. I mean, you can't. If he loses to MJF, he's pretty much dead in the water. I don't want to say dead in the water, but where would Wardlow go after this if he lost? If he wins, he can go after the TNT title and then eventually the world title. But I'm going with Wardlow to get the win here.
All right. Well, this will be an interesting one for sure. And Jeff made a good point about Harry Smith. Like if he was going to be brought in, like they should have brought him in for the Owen tournament as the Joker.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point.
To lose, though,
Yeah.
Well,
I understand what Tony was saying about John Morrison coming and having a good match and all that. And I understand tournament-based matches. It's not like they're a championship match. It gives these wrestlers another chance to show a different outcome. But I don't think that was the right way to do Johnny Elite. He looked all disoriented. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't look like he was all the way there.
He still looked like the Mrs. Stooge.
Yeah. And that's a hard stigma for him to shake off now.
mhm.
They did that on purpose. WWE did that on purpose, kind of.
Probably. It's like
Yep.
you're portrayed at a certain level for so long, it's hard for people to take you seriously again.
Well, and let's remember, it wasn't until Johnny Mundo really kind of took off in AAA as well as in Lucha Underground that kind of revitalized John Morrison's career.
And then he tried a bit as Johnny Impact, even as their champion in Impact Wrestling.
Yep.
All right, guys, we got a couple of super chats here. Sacred Monkey Bone sent in $5. I like that username. Says AEW is 12 matches because the pay-per-view is $50. NXT was $9.99. They can get away with 5.
I will pay $50 for a good wrestling show. I don't care if it's 2.5 hours long. I would rather watch a good 2.5 hour show than a mediocre 4-hour show.
Yeah. Sacred Monkey Paw. Like I'm saying to myself, like, sure, AEW is known for great tag team wrestling, putting on a great 20, 23-minute tag team match. But when they have 3 tag team matches on this show, are we really expecting to get 3 classic? They don't have enough time to give us 3 really classic tag matches.
Especially when the matches themselves, the championship match is the least interesting of the 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, guys, we got one match left here. Oh, wait a second. Jerry Slaughter has a theory. He sent in $5. Thank you to the new normal, Jerry Slaughter. He says, Wardlow loses and heads to the Ring of Honor relaunch. Winner, winner.
That's
Chicken
a great
dinner.
prediction.
Right.
Please send that to Noah right now. Jerry, send that to Noah right now. That's a great prediction.
I'm literally reading. I'm like, yeah, that's a loophole. I can't be all elite. Doesn't mean I can't join Ring of Honor. Okay, now you got me thinking.
Great thought.
That's solid. Jerry Slaughter's not known for his predictions, but that one could play out.
That's
One time he went 4 out of 5 with a coin flip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, luck of the draw. Hey, we're in Vegas, right? So place your bets.
All right, guys, main event time.
You won't need DraftKings for this. Oh, well, you might for this one. Oh, boy.
World
Oh,
champion
yeah.
Hangman Adam Page defending his championship against the man, the myth, the legend, straight edge himself, CM Punk. All right, so Noah Foster, this is a big one. This is a tough one to call because Adam Page has been a pretty steady champion. Some feel like he's been a little bit lackluster, like not in the sense of the quality of his matches, but maybe in the sense of him feeling like a mid-card guy with the world title. So a lot of people are wondering, will CM Punk actually become the new champion? Now, my initial thought process was MJF was going to beat Adam Page, and I thought that Adam Page would get by CM Punk, but now I'm not so sure. Like, I'm really torn on this one, so I'm curious to get your thoughts on this one. Do we see a new champion, or does Hangman Page's reign continue?
Well, Hangman Adam Page being the story of AEW, it was like he was so over being the hunter versus now where it's kind of like that, that overness is kind of burnt out now that he's the hunted. Having incredibly bloody, insane classics with Bryan Danielson, wild buckshot layered innovation against Lance Archer. He's been quite a fighting champion, to say the least. And then I think about that fallout, maybe tension building with him and his friends, allegedly, in Dark Order. But then you have CM Punk, best in the world, and he doesn't promise to win. He just promises to give us the hardest fight of his life until the wheels fall off and keep fighting. The thing is, like I said, MJF is no doubt our next AEW World Champion out of AEW Originals. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But it comes down to who you put him up against. Do you put him against the guy since day one, Double or Nothing 2019, when that belt was first presented, that came down to these two in the Casino Battle Royale, and you recall that, and you finally have MJF go over Hangman Adam Page? Or do you finally have MJF go over the best in the world, CM Punk, considering how personal he made that feel? And, of course, we saw CM Punk win that chapter of the saga with the dog collar match. I try and figure out what happens for both men in defeat. There's got to be a winner. There's got to be a loser. No way this ends disqualification or 60-minute draw. That would be insane. And I think about how the pay-per-view ends, too. And again, this is going to be the closing match, and you're right. People are probably going to be burnt out. With Adam calling him Adam Page, the crowd was a bit quiet after the wild Anarchy in the Arena type match with Darby Allin, Sting, and, of course, the other members in the AFO. With this match here, though, I think about what's the bigger money match. You got to have the bigger selling point, bigger marketing point. If they're going to do All Out in Chicago, which we don't know yet, they haven't defined it. CM Punk is from Chicago. Yes, he does owe a win over him there already, but it was a television match. If it's for the AEW World Championship in the main event on a pay-per-view and MJF goes over on CM Punk, then MJF truly owns AEW. So thinking about that narrative, as much as I still fight it in my mind with Hangman and how long he's been wanting this, I really feel like that CM Punk is going to pull out the win here, one way or another. Both men down the ring, handshake to unconscious Hangman Adam Page. I don't really see who else Hangman can challenge, and I don't know how long they can hold out for Hangman versus MJF. So I think in the short run, they're going to do CM Punk versus MJF before Hangman versus MJF. So based on that, as of right now, with the fact we got face-to-face tomorrow, I'm going to say that CM Punk officially becomes the new AEW World Champion.
All right, so now we'll throw it over to Jargo.
I think CM Punk beats Hangman Page to become the AEW World Champion in September in Chicago. I think Hangman wins this match and we get the rematch in Chicago at All Out. CM Punk challenging for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. in Chicago just seems like it makes a lot of sense to me. And we could even see some chicanery here. I mean, if we think back to when Hangman won the title from Kenny Omega, who gave him the nod to go for it? It was the Young Bucks. And now we kind of see a little bit of Hangman maybe teasing a bit of a heel turn. Could we see some chicanery here where maybe the Bucks get involved, take out Punk, Hangman hits the buckshot, Hangman officially joins back up with the Young Bucks, Adam Cole officially joins up with Red Dragon, and we have the Undisputed Era inside of AEW. Like, I feel like there's a lot of different ways this thing could go, but I do feel like we get a rematch at All Out in Chicago, and CM Punk in the main event sells an awful lot of tickets.
Man, that's a good prediction there.
Good counterpoint to mine too. Good luck, Aaron.
Big G, what do you think?
Jesus, I don't follow that up. I mean, it should be one hell of a match. I was there when CM Punk came back to Chicago, back a while back. You know, I was there for the match with Lance Archer and Hangman Page in that Texas Death match. I haven't been feeling Hangman Adam Page ever since he's won the world title. You know, it's not his fault. It's the way they've been booking him as champion. I mean, I feel like him and Thunder Rosa have had the same TV time as world champions. I mean, Hangman maybe a little bit longer because he's been champ for a while.
Hangman versus Danielson by itself was twice as much TV time as Thunder Rosa got.
Right. Okay.
And that was just one match, Jog. Remember, they did it twice.
They did it
twice. You're right. And I did enjoy those matches with Danielson. And then after that, I don't know, it felt kind of flat to me. The matches that he's had were good. Don't get me wrong, just the way he's been booked as champion hasn't been the greatest. I feel, when he won the championship, I was happy, but I felt like, if he didn't win it then, when would he have won it? He was hot at the moment. And, if he didn't win it, then, where do you go? But anyways, it should be one hell of a match. Same thing with CM Punk. He came back and, he's just been on this roller coaster of a ride, and it's just been crazy. But I'm going to go with CM Punk to win the match here. Because, I mean, Jargo has a good point, too. But do we know if All Out's going to be in Chicago again this year? They really haven't announced
Not
anything.
Confirmed.
They haven't confirmed it.
I feel like Double or Nothing is always going to be in Vegas. All Out's always going to be in Chicago. That's just kind of my assumption.
Yeah. You're talking about because Forbidden Door is in Chicago, moving All Out this year.
Yeah, because you don't want to have. I mean, you could have because Chicago they have so many different arenas that they could have it at. When Punk came back, I think it was at the United Center.
Correct.
They have so many arenas there. That they could, Forbidden Door, I think it might be at United Center, and then they could do All Out at another one. But,
at Wintrust or Sears Center or wherever.
But that's up to AEW and Tony Khan. Do they want 2 pay-per-views, in Chicago? Because Forbidden Door is in June, right? And then All Out is in September. So that's 3 months, So they could do it, but I'm going with my gut here because if CM Punk needs to win the title now, because if not, then I don't think he's going to win it at all.
Well, let me ask you guys this and I am functioning off of the assumption we are going to get CM Punk versus Kenta at Forbidden Door. That has to be the match, right? It has to be Kenta versus Punk. Noah, you know this story probably about as well as I do. Kenta has to win that match, right?
Of course.
Okay.
So you don't want CM Punk being the AEW World Heavyweight Champion if he's going to lose to Kenta.
Wait, he's going to lose to Hideo Itami?
Absolutely.
No way.
CM Punk straight stole everything that he does from Kenta. Kenta has to win that match.
And Kenta will do anything possible to make sure he does win it.
A guy that never got out of NXT is going to beat CM Punk.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That seems crazy to me.
Him over.
No, because this is not Hideo Itami. Lance Archer made that mistake once. He told Kenta, "You're not Kenta, you're Hideo now." And then Kenta proceeded to put his ass to sleep I mean, I firmly believe Kenta has to win that match when that singles match happens, and Kenta is pushing for it really hard. There's no way I put that title on CM Punk if he's losing to Kenta.
Okay, so what if this happens? So they're building up Forbidden Door. What if Kenta... So Punk loses on Sunday. What if Kenta shows up afterwards to start building up for that match?
I mean, I could even see Kenta showing up and costing Punk that match.
He did that once before. Who was it to? John Moxley?
It was John Moxley. That was when we first had our first sign up for Forbidden Door with somebody coming from NJPW.
Yeah. But I'm still sticking with Punk to win the title.
But they never followed up on that, though, Jargo. Is that because Kenta wouldn't take the loss? I don't think they followed up on that.
No, they've never followed up on it because CM Punk has ran like a dog with his tail between his legs every time Kenta calls him out.
Well, it's not like CM Punk answers everybody on Twitter.
Well, and let's also be honest, like they've never been in the same place at the same time.
No,
I don't think the money was ever there before for this to happen.
No,
now he's
absolutely
under
not.
contract. He has matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the way I see it is if we somehow get CM Punk versus Kenta at the Forbidden Door, it's going to protect the championship no matter what. That's what it comes down to, protecting the AEW World Championship, not necessarily the champion. And again, that's a whole nother reason why this whole match is so polarizing. How does it affect Forbidden Door? How does it affect the future of AEW? So, again, Rip, you can't hold out any longer.
Well, and especially if you do a champion versus champion match, like Hangman Adam Page losing to Kazuchika Okada, yeah, okay, no problem. CM Punk versus Okada, that's a nightmare to book.
And CM Punk literally said I think Okada said he either wants CM Punk or Bryan Danielson, and Okada has to defend the title first against Jay White at Dominion. There's a lot of moving parts here still yet in place.
Yep.
All right, let's get to these super chats before we finish the predictions here. Jerry Slaughter sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Paige had a decent run. Punk's will be better. Guess that is a prediction from Jerry Slaughter. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, have Paige cheat to win, turning heel against Punk.
Yeah, like when he cut that promo in Baltimore, I feel like it was kind of like a heel kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it was also out of nowhere.
It really was, yeah.
Attacking the fans even about, idolizing your hero and that merchandise. He's feeling the pressure right now where I feel like he's lost too much blood and he's had enough of this bullcrap. I'm the champion. I'm going to stay that way, whether you like it or not now. That's the mentality of this cowboy, in my opinion.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat and says, have Chaos win AEW Trios titles to piss off Jargo.
The Trios titles alone piss off Jargo without Chaos having anything to do with it.
Yeah. And Jargo, we pretty much know now that it's going to happen. Tony Khan said that they've made championships, and it's just a matter of when Kenny Omega is coming back for them to introduce the division.
Which I think is a terrible idea all the way around.
They just want to put a belt on Kenny, though.
Well, and I agree, put a belt on Kenny, but not a Trios title.
No.
But you know what? A Page heel turn could work out if Omega's not going to be cleared right away.
And especially, do you want to bring Kenny Omega back as a heel?
No.
Because, that place is going to go insane when Kenny shows up. That'd be like when Seth Rollins returned from injury after being gone for a year, and then he came out and crapped all over the fans the next night on Raw. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
That's when you get the babyface run.
I agree with you. I think that Omega would be a babyface with the Young Bucks against Adam Cole's group, and they would be the heels. That's what I would think.
I just wonder if Adam Cole's going to be the Dark Order.
If Omega does come back, you better not have that Carney with him.
Oh, you mean
piece of shit?
Yeah.
That
jag off.
And I also feel like there is some business that needs to be done between Kenny Omega and the Bucks. I mean, like when Kenny left, he even purposely went out of his way to say, I haven't watched the match back yet. Well, by now, he has to have watched the match back and saw that the Young Bucks gave Hangman the endorsement to go ahead and do it.
Exactly. And that'd be like, you did this against me. And we all know how Kenny Omega goes about with his storytelling when it comes to his professional wrestling. So, again, there is so many different ways this can move. This match is not one-dimensional. It's crazy.
Well, am I the only one that dislikes Kenny Omega's heel turn almost as much as the Becky Lynch heel turn? Like it was almost as bad as that, in my opinion.
Well, at least Kenny Omega actually defended the title and tried to bring the AEW name across other brands. I think it just comes down to the way you look at it. Like, how is the champion presented? How is the championship defended, to say the least, you know? Yeah. It wasn't like it was pigeonholed with just two people.
All right, Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat, says, I say Punk wins the title and they should book MJF to beat him. That's the way I would do it. Maybe Punk's the first AEW transitional champion. Who knows? What do you think about that, Mikey T? We'll go to you next with your predictions for CM Punk versus Adam Page.
Well, yeah, that kind of goes back into what I think Noah had said of, I think Noah, you said that CM Punk could probably lose the title come the all out pay-per-view.
Possibly, otherwise definitely doing it next year at All Out regardless, because I see it happening in Chicago against Punk, MJF becoming champ.
Yeah, I don't see CM Punk losing the title within 3 months. He's not going to be a transitional champion. CM Punk, once he gets that title, it's going to be the CM Punk era in AEW. They really need to try to ride this momentum. Honestly, I feel like they flipped to the end of the script with Hangman Page when they gave Hangman the AEW championship. They should have let him beat Miro for the TNT title back then. And then they should have had Kenny Omega drop the title to Bryan Danielson. And right now, we would be getting Bryan and Danielson versus CM Punk, a really major championship match. But let me see here. So it's like, will Tony Khan continue to push through with Hangman Page as the champion when it's clearly not working? You know, the way to make noise in AEW is to give the championship to CM Punk through the summertime.
Punk 3.
Right. And I don't just mean till the next pay-per-view. Shout out to Harley. Is that Harley right there, Big G?
Yeah.
I'll probably talk about Harley Race, RIP, NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
But so I say give the title to Punk here, man. Tony Khan has waited long enough to the point where it's not going to look like he's riding Pac's jock. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people are thinking, they're saying, Tony Khan he's just being a groupie for CM Punk. I think he waited far long enough, man. They didn't make any headlines with Hangman Page winning that title. They would have made headlines if Bryan Danielson won the title. It would have been like Bryan Danielson wins a championship outside of the WWE. They would have made a big deal about that, but Tony Khan dropped the ball. You know, that's my opinion. CM Punk's going to take the title. Hopefully he does not lose.
I'm going to agree with Mikey T. I think CM Punk will win the title, but I'm not feeling 100% confident on it. I may change my pick depending on what happens at the end of Dynamite this week. But yeah, I think business-wise, Punk is the way to go. He's the biggest star in the company, and MJF and Wardlow build them up for CM Punk. I say Punk wins here. Maybe Adam Page goes heel, something like that. Anyways, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, imagine CM Punk wearing suits becoming corporate Punk.
Maybe in 2 years, maybe in a couple of years. I mean, from what they did to Kenny Omega, it's not out of the Tony Khan's element of booking. I could see Tony Khan back in the day playing with his action figures, putting a jacket on his old CM Punk action figure saying, this is corporate Punk.
I mean, he has worn a blazer before when on commentary, but if he goes full suit corporate, that would be a shocker to the wrestling industry for sure.
Please give it 2 or 3 years.
It's the only way you can turn him heel, though, right? Like, you have to turn CM Punk into everything that Triple H wanted him to be.
Exactly.
That's the way you turn CM Punk heel in 2022.
See, I don't think he's going to turn it. I think he's going to win the title, have a run for a while, lose the title, and then probably slowly fade out of wrestling. You know, he came back, had one more run. I don't see him doing this for another 10 years or something. I think he's going to have his one last title run, and that's going to be it pretty much.
He might sign for another 3 years for another 9-10 million.
Oh, yeah, money talks.
Money talks, especially in wrestling.
That's big money this day. You know what I mean?
He is by far the biggest star in that company right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody that's a bigger star than CM Punk inside that company. whether you want to call his run inside of AEW a success or a complete miserable failure like Eric Bischoff, he is still the biggest star in that company.
I mean, yeah, he sold out the United Center on a rumor.
And I was there.
The worst kept secret. The worst kept secret.
His run has been better than Hangman Page's. I can remember it. You know, he started off with Darby. He moved on to Eddie Kingston. He went on to MJF. And now he's moving on to Hangman Page. I can remember his career. Hangman Page is, you know, we remember Bryan Danielson. We forget about the Texas Death Match with Lance Archer. You know what I'm saying?
He also had one with Adam Cole, which was his most recent defense.
Boom.
Is there any possibility, just humor me for a second here, is there any possibility we get champion versus champion, title versus title at Forbidden Door? Okada walks out as the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Kenny Omega comes back, and he is the one to go and reclaim the title from Okada, and we finally get Omega Okada 4.
At Wrestle Kingdom. I would love to see it, but I just don't see Kenny Omega ready yet to tease something like that, let alone get back to action within the next month. Again, he had so many surgeries. He let his body go since 2017, Jargo. You and I both know the story. He's not going to be in ring for a while.
But all I'm saying is Okada takes the title from Hangman. You don't want him taking the title from Punk. And then Okada can hold that title for 6 months until Kenny's ready to come and get it.
Well, I guess that comes down to if Okada gets past Switchblade Jay White at Dominion and what the focus of Forbidden Door is going to be, too. Is it going to be a Bullet Club heavy?
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You know, we talk about a transitional champion being 2 to 3 months inside of the world of AEW, inside of the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. This would be a transitional run. I mean, Okada just won it back in January. I don't see him dropping it in June.
Me neither. And I love the idea of Rainmaker versus Buckshot Lariat, the Battle of Lariats. Lariat being one of my favorite moves in professional wrestling.
That's the main event for All Out, though. Punk and Omega, if Omega can come back. I saw tentative comeback date of October 15th for a different company. But if you guys remember, I think Moxley returned to GCW, but Tony Khan had him come on AEW just prior to that. I think that's when he did beat Wheeler Yuta. I'm not too sure, but they had him come back for a promo at least. So I got a feeling if he's ready to come back in October, they'll bring him back to face Punk beforehand.
Well, and somebody had asked me in the chat room about the Kota Ibushi situation and what's going on with Ibushi. If Ibushi would happen to come stateside and sign with All Elite Wrestling, that's what Kenny Omega's doing. It's not going to have anything to do with Hangman Page, nothing to do with the World Championship. It's going to be either as tag team partners or against Kota Ibushi.
Exactly.
All right, so
our conversation for a different day, and that's if Kota Ibushi decides to take an airplane.
I think we got all of our predictions in for this show, and we'll definitely have to get Jargo and Noah on for the Forbidden Door predictions. And that's it. I think we got a few more super chats here. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says Jargo should turn heel by joining Chaos.
Well, I mean, the Rainmaker is my favorite professional wrestler, and we do have the Stone Pitbull, and I'm pretty sure I could smoke a little with Rocky Romero. We got to get rid of freaking Yano. We got to get rid of Yano.
That's the only reason I wouldn't join Chaos. That's why Suzuki Gun's my faction. Taka, Zack Sabre Jr., Taiji, and that sumo type background, Kawada kicks, and of course, one of the most violent, sadistic professional wrestlers on the planet, Minoru Suzuki.
Good old JM Jeff Meacham sent in a $2 super chat, says, great panel. See you all at 10 p.m. Eastern for Talk Wrestling. Absolutely. Check out Jeff's stuff. Follow the Jeff Meacham Network. And Psycho Jet Black said pizza is more over than Ricochet, Retribution, and EC3.
There's the Rico hater. I was waiting for a super chat like that.
Had to get one in tonight. That's right.
You gotta love some garlic. You gotta love some garlic in some pizza. You know what I'm talking about?
The garlic butter crust is what I do. Or
yes, at Hungry Howie's. That is fantastic.
Aaron, I'm sorry. I've never heard of Hungry Howie's.
Well, there you go. I haven't heard of like 5 of the chains you named. You haven't heard of the one I named.
No, I heard you mention Hungry Howie's like 6 months ago, and I'm like, damn.
Where are you again? You're in Massachusetts? Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But,
maybe they don't have it over there.
But yeah, shout out to Jeff Talk Wrestling. My brother, literally, you'll talk to some random person like that knows about wrestling, and they will have known about your show, Aaron, with Jeff Meacham Talk Wrestling. Everybody knows about that as a throwback wrestling show from back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yep. And Talk Wrestling still going. Keeping
Well,
on.
hold on. Are my takes better than Ricochet's Intercontinental title run?
The answer is yes, 1,000,000%, because the Intercontinental Championship has not been defended on pay-per-view since WrestleMania.
That's not exactly a compliment, though.
I'll take it, man. Ricochet defeated a tag team in a triple threat match. That hasn't been seen in a number of years. Somebody let me know when the last time a guy won a triple threat match against a tag team. Probably not since back in WCW in 1999-2000.
Congratulations to Caleb Jacobs. He did not spam tonight. Thank you for that.
Would you consider DX, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H a tag team when they went up against John Cena in a triple threat at Survivor Series 2009? John Cena still overcame both of them.
Screw you, Noah. Screw you.
All right, guys, let's do our plugs. Mikey T, since you were just talking, we'll go right back to you so you can go ahead and.
I want everybody on here to check out this movie that my brother made. It's called Slapface. They've got it on Shudder. It's also on Amazon Prime. Horror film about a kid, August Maturo. He was actually in the Boy Meets World spinoff called Girl Meets World. He was in the movie called The Nun. He's starring in my brother Jeremiah Kipp's film called Slapface. It's got a monster in there. So if you're into horror films, check that out on Amazon Prime or Shudder. You can get a free 7-day trial on Shudder if you guys are into horror movies. I know Aaron's a big horror movie guy.
Yep.
So
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, if anybody is into Shudder, I don't know if you guys, Big G or Aaron, if you guys have Shudder, but it's a free 7-day trial to check it out.
Okay.
I do have Prime, so I can check that out on there.
Yeah, mostly everybody has Prime. I appreciate it if everybody checks that out.
All right. Thank you for that, Mikey T. And now we'll go over to the man who is happy to be here, Big Baller G.
As always. Yes, so you can follow me at NoDQ.com/BigBallerG. That'll take you to my Twitter page. I'm on there here and there, occasionally retweeting something from Aaron or whoever. If you have TikTok, if you don't have TikTok, I have a bunch of videos over there. Big Baller G 1988. And that is it for the Big Baller.
All right. Thank you for that, Big Baller G. Jargo, what you have for us?
Social media at Not Jargo, of course, michaeljargo.com. And you can now find me on Truth Social. Are you ready for this? At The Science. That's right. Follow the science, ladies and gentlemen. Find me over on Truth Social at The Science. And we will be back with all new episodes of Destino, a New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast. And I'm sure featuring Noah-san very, very soon, as well as The Blow Off, which you can check out over at blowoffpod.com.
Thank you for that, Jargo. And now, Noah Foster, what you have for us?
Gotta say, Jargo, we gotta figure out something. Dominion's around the corner, and so is the G1 bladder. Oh, and I just thought about another one, Mikey T. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn face AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. Where it's like, okay, one of us wins, becomes the champion. But I digress. That's enough.
Also, Braun Strowman beat John Morrison and The Miz.
Well, yeah, but come on, we both knew that was going to happen.
and then Tony Khan spent money on him. Jesus, that guy's burning money.
Well, I mean, hey, if you had a big enough wallet, I think all of us would probably do the same, whether we want to admit it or not. I mean, probably something even crazier. Anyway, folks. Oh, good Lord, I love these things. Now, this is entertainment. Sports entertainment, to say the least. Folks, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Foster1916, for I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! God bless the goodness and the greatness in this industry, but I digress. Where I only wish to encourage you to just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling too. The forum will be live on my Twitter and NoDQ's feeds after AEW Rampage this Friday. Exact time I will have it up is 6:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so stay tuned for more on that. I actually will be making my Combat Wrestling Trivia debut tomorrow night on their YouTube channel, where I face my best friend Paul Mead in a wrestling trivia contest, so feel free to check that out. Stay tuned for the Daily Slam, where me and Cindy G will preview and predict Double or Nothing as well, and also recap and review both Dynamite and Rampage. And like I said, if I can get Jargo involved, I already got a guy in my corner too, in Casey Gallagher. we'll be doing a preview and predictions for Dominion, as well as previewing the G1 Climax when that comes out. I'm with the Jeff Meacham Network this weekend, bringing you play-by-play coverage and also controlling Jeff Meacham predictions games on the Jeff Meacham Network as well this Sunday. As always, I like to conclude, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no bettors. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. And boy, did we share a lot of opinions wrestling and on Wrestling Tonight, folks. At the end of the day, people, support one another and respect each other. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. Simple as that.
All right. Amen to that, Noah. Psycho Jet Black sent in $5 to make sure we go over 2 hours tonight. Says, seriously, Ricochet's greatest problem is that he's just happy to be there and doesn't appear to want to improve his promo skills.
Well, Jago basically summed it up perfectly because I've seen him as King Ricochet and I've also seen him as Prince Puma and Lucha Underground. He's better when he doesn't speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's best to just go out there and do the wrestling.
And Conan was a great mouthpiece for Prince Puma.
Yeah, that's all he needs is a good mouthpiece, like a lot of people. But again, it just doesn't seem to be that many.
Nope. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. 2 hours of discussion. 20 minutes was probably about pizza, but hey, we had to get you in the mood for the pay-per-view, give you some ideas for where to eat. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Follow everybody and stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. We love everybody. Doesn't matter your race,
pizza,
your gender identity. Doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome. We are one community. Together as one. And we love cats too.
We love pizza.
Pizza, cats.
We love cats.
Everyone is different. Everyone is good. Yes,
And-
sir.
Do not put pineapple on your cats.
Yes, please do not do that. That's the only way we will disown you. If you put pineapples on cats, just don't do it.
What?
So, Harley, good night. Hope you have a fun time scratching Big G when the camera is off. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week. And that's it. Remember, say yes to NoDQ.com, and we'll see you all next time.
Have a good night, folks.
Later.
Folks.